people down there, and so they're drawing down the water supply very quickly. So it's really human forced drought, not weather forced drought as much as anything else. But the plan is actually about to be, it's in front of the legislature this year, should be approved. It really just creates a template for how to manage water. And the biggest thing about it is water conservation. What they're really looking for everyone in the state to do is figure out ways to conserve water. Angie and I are working with the agricultural community, and I'm not going to talk about it today, but we're working with small farmers and new beginning farmers to help them be more resilient in the face of drought. So what tools can we give them so that when the drought comes, they're better prepared? And mostly it turns out that what they need is another well. They need a supplemental well in their system to kind of pump a little extra water when that time comes. So by having that access to another well on their property, it actually makes them far more resilient in the face of drought. But we're working with some other businesses, and we want to really try and reach out to folks like yourselves as homeowners because everything matters. This is one case where every single thing matters. Every drop counts, as it says here. And what we've done is we've connected with the University of Georgia and several other states to ask folks to participate in the 40-gallon challenge. So if you just put this in to your browser sometime in the future, you can actually sign up to be part of the 40-gallon challenge. Essentially it says, I'm going to pledge to try and save 40 gallons of water every day. So just change my lifestyle by a little bit and save 40 gallons every day. And yes?
Yeah. Since most of us here probably have our own pumps, I mean,
Right.
we get our
Private
water-
wells?
Private wells. Now, does this mean, and when our water goes back to our septic system, so it's like we have a loop. Should we be involved in something like this? Does this make any sense for us? I can see when you're using a city water supply, it would.
Every drop counts. And
Even
it
in
matters
our
for you
case,
because if you're drawing that, so, I don't have a geologist right here, I better be careful and not step over my bounds, but the groundwater supply for this region, let's just think of it as, this is a very easy, big simplification, but imagine it's just a big level field, right? And it's a field of water. So if you put your well in here and start pumping water out, it pulls it down. If I put my well in over here, it pulls it down. And if we all start doing that all over the place, it pulls the whole thing down.
But
So,
my water's going back through my septic system.
but it doesn't go back to the same place where it started. So your septic system is connected to superficial kind of thing, in the ledge and all the soil and whatever. Your well is probably 300 or 400 feet down in some cracked up, broken, fractured aquifer that they're pumping the water out of. And if I move in next to you and build a new house, and maybe I build a really big house, and I want to have 7 bathrooms, and I want to run the water all the time, your well's going to go dry, because I'm going to be pumping all my water. Maybe I'll sink my well a little deeper than yours, so I can pump all your water plus some extra water. So it matters for everyone, because all those interactions, even private well interactions, that's water that's being drawn out of one aquifer. Now, we're fortunate that most of that water gets replenished fairly regularly in Connecticut. But when you see this in other states, what happens is they start pulling the water down, and then suddenly you notice that your well's not pumping quite as much water. And that can happen because it doesn't even have to be your neighbor. It could be 5 miles away, but it's connected through that same big aquifer. We decided we're going to put in a new neighborhood, and we're going to build 25 new houses in there, and they're all going to have wells. And then suddenly those 25 wells are affecting your well water as well. And the state water plan is all about how we protect your rights as a citizen to make sure that their activity doesn't affect your ability to have safe, clean, healthy water. But that's a really great question because you think, hey, I'm not connected. It's kind of like being off the grid. I'm not on the grid. Why should I worry? Well, because all those water systems actually do connect at different places. And so you do want to try and, it's a great question, and it's a difficult answer. So, yes?
So the 40-gallon challenge that's the amount you want to conserve? What's the average person use per day?
Oh, this is like the perfect setup. We're gonna talk about that. Thank you. You're like right on in the wheelhouse here. So we're going to talk a little bit about how much water do we use in a day. And so Angie and I talked about this, and at first I wasn't going to put my name in the game, but all the numbers that you see from like the various, like we just went through and plugged it into some calculators. These are the data from my house, so don't shame me for being a water user. So just quickly, kind of the water footprint. It's everything. Water. So as it turns out, water is in everything. If you kind of extract how we make a product, it's in everything we have, everything we buy, everything we sell, everything we use, everything we eat, and of course we drink water, right? So that it's in everything. And your footprint is a measure of all the water that's used, both in that product. If you buy a soda, of course, it's mostly water, right? But it also took extra water to grow the sugar that went into your Coke. It takes water to process the aluminum that is in the can. So all of those products have they have the obvious water that you can see, but they also have kind of what we'll talk about, the hidden water. And that's the big secret in your water footprint. So now, and these are just some places, so I don't know, Steve, if you want me, if anybody is really interested, there are places you can go, but these are 3 examples of where we went in and looked at water footprints, and it's my footprint, so I can be embarrassed about it all. So here we go. How many gallons of water do you use in a day? Well, if you had a city, how many people have city water? You get a private water or a water provider.
Yukon water?
Oh yeah, that's okay. Right. They send you a bill, don't they? That's what matters. If you get a bill, then yeah, you're on the water system. So I live over in Coventry. Coventry provides us with city water, but we actually have septic. So we're kind of a hybrid of the model you're talking about. We don't actually have we don't have private wells, but we do have public water supply. We have
in Coventry Hills you're speaking of?
I live over in Coventry, up on Grant Hill Road.
Oh.
In the town of Coventry. So.
Okay, because I live on Coventry Lake, and
you probably have a well.
Septics around there. And
yeah, well, so that's another day too. So maybe I'll come back another day and talk about the lakes and the septics and all the good things that we have going on there. Then I'll call my geologist friends to help me. So how much water do we use in a day? So this is just one calculator, and for me, my water footprint, 1,900 gallons a day, and that's me, and then my household, almost 5,000 gallons a day, and the average for the US is 2,200. Now before you get all worked up and think, what the heck is this guy doing in his house? He's like manufacturing big stuff. No, that's not exactly it. So this is just one estimate. Comes from the water footprint calculator. Here's another estimate. So 99 gallons a day. And this is the in-home water use. And so you get a completely different picture. And the big reason is right here. Doesn't include food. So the interesting thing about water calculators is you'll want to know what's behind it before you before you start making a lot of big changes in what you do. So this one comes up to 99 gallons a day, and it's actually split into a lot of different parts. Try another one. So here's the one I love the most. This is the international, the kind of original water footprint calculator. 1,500 cubic meters per year, which is about 1,100 gallons a day. And look, here you go. This is why it's kind of interesting. Food, 1,500. Everything else in my life, 60 cubic meters per year. And then down here, contribution of different food things. It's meat. And then where's the other one? Everything else, a little bit of fruit. This is coffee. Everybody drinks a cup of coffee in the morning, or if you do, coffee and tea, and we'll show you how that all works out. But just to give you some sense, there's a lot of variability in what a water footprint might look like, but the important thing for you is it consists of multiple things, and they vary depending on which one you're looking at. So what I'm going to do, I want to stop in a minute here, and I'm going to show you this slide, and then I'm going to actually stop. So this is our direct water use. So in the house, if we talk about indoor water use, where do we basically, where do we see things? The bathroom, number one on our list. Bathroom, Yeah, everybody's got the same floor plan, I'll bet too, right? Kitchen, this is not actually my floor plan. Bathroom, kitchen, and then the laundry. So, 3 big areas in the house. Now, we're gonna take a minute, since I brought all this with me, I wanna stop. Everybody's gonna get to do a little homework. There's no reason to come down here if you don't get a test, right? So, and I'm sure Steve was prepared for this. So I'm gonna circulate these pieces of paper. Here, why don't we start with it? I'll give you a handful of pencils too. Because you're gonna need to do some figuring and ciphering here. You can opt out if you want. There's no requirement that you actually fill these out. But since Angie spent so much time doing it, I hope that you'll at least give it a try.
Oh, wait, here's the other one.
There's some pencils for you. If anybody needs paper, pencil, whatever, I'll share that with you for now. So, how we doing? Pretty good? Moving around? Need some more? Need some more papers? Oh, I got tons. We give these out. We do this more than once. This is always like this is a